cleaners! Welcome to Cleaning and Organizing with Cinnamon. On today's video with Organizing Tip Tuesday, I wanted to go over stress and something that I've learned and I've also passed along to my clients, and I would love to pass along with you to you guys to help you with your stress. There's this really funny meme that I've seen, and I think that a lot of people can relate to it. It says, "Men, if you ever want to know what a woman's mind feels like, imagine a browser with 2,857 tabs open all the time." And that is so true. We have so many things on our mind that we have to do, that we try to constantly go over and over, just kind of like a list inside our head. And what happens is something that I call subconscious stress. Subconscious stress is something that happens when you have a whole list of things in your mind that you need to do, and even when you're not thinking about them, you're thinking about them. Whether it is going down that staircase and seeing all these little fingerprints all over the wall, or it's going by that big pile of trash that you just didn't pick up. You know, your kids have left some wrappers and you go by and you just look and you keep walking, but you can even feel it, and sometimes you can see it in your face that it's a stress. Those are subconscious stresses that even when you're not thinking about them, you are thinking about them, especially if you look over and you see them. For me, it's the fish tank. That thing needs to be cleaned out so badly. And every time I walk by it, I think that for even just a split second, and every single time that I think about it, I get stressed. So what do you do about these subconscious stresses? Well, this is something that I've learned, is to make a list. Now, some people will say that they are not list people, but if you try it and you follow these guidelines, it can help you tremendously. And I think everything is worth giving at least one shot. So when you make a list, the reason why I even say to make a list is because it has actually been scientifically proven that when you make a list and when you go to check things off of your list, your body actually releases endorphins, which make you happy. That is definitely something to celebrate. So what I do is, when I'm making a list of things, just so I can get all these endorphins released, if I have like the kitchen to do, I won't just put kitchen on my list. I'll put outside of fridge, inside of fridge, microwave, countertop, stove, front of stove, window, windowsill, and I'll just make this big long list, because you can have one thing on your list and it takes hours to do, and then you finally get to the point where you get to cross that off, and yeah, you release endorphins, which is awesome, but you want to release them more often. So making a longer list, that will definitely help. So when you go to make your list, there is one major rule that you have to do so that you don't actually increase your stress. You know what that is? It is not looking at your list as a whole. If you start making a list of everything you need to do, and you look at it as a whole, you're going to see a huge amount of things that you have to do, and then you're going to start thinking, do I have time for this? When am I going to do this? And that is going to increase your stress. It's kind of like opening a closet and seeing all the things that you need to do, instead of opening a closet and starting in on one thing and focusing on one thing at a time, which is what you have to do with your list. Okay, so I'm actually going to give you guys a step-by-step instructions on how to make your list. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is how you make your list. There are two different ways that you can make it. What you can do is whatever works best for you. Now, the first method is that you're going to sit there and you're going to think of all the things you need to do. You had to take the recycling, gather the trash. You can go from room to room to room and just start making a list of things that you want to do. The other way, which is what I actually do, is I will take the different categories that I have lists of things to do. Like, for instance, I'm a gardener. Right now it is gardening season, so I have different things that I need to do with my garden at different times. So on my list, I know I have to make pesto with the basil in my garden, and I'm in Ohio, so it's going to be cold pretty soon, and it should already actually be cold, which is pretty awesome, side note. But anyways, it's going to be cold, and so that's something that is going to be important to do. But at the same time, I also have to do grapes. I picked a bunch of grapes from one of my wonderful clients that let me pick grapes from their a ton of vines that they had. They pick one person per year, and they picked me to do it this year, which is wonderful. So there was a lot of wasps, and so I just picked a bunch and just put them in the bags, and so there's some good and some bad mixed in there. So I put them all in the fridge just so that they'll stay okay until I can sort them and then put them in the freezer. That needs to be done. So anyways, I have tomatoes, I have onions, I have green peppers, all these things that are coming in. So I need to figure out, you know, the different order I'm going to do for my list on there. So anyways, I'll have my list of different garden stuff I need to do. And then I have a list of different clients and what I need to text them to have communication with them, like how our session went and everything. And then I have a list of just different household chores. And I'll even go by different rooms what I need to do. So, first thing is make your list. So, second thing that you're going to do in order to make your list and make it very successful is that you are actually going to, I'm going to look at my list, you're going to prioritize your list. So if you do my method where you take the different groups and stuff, what you're going to do is you're going to take another piece of paper and you're going to write them in order. What needs to be done absolutely first. And I actually, a side note, but something that you should do too, is keep your list on you, because it's that you have to have a place for everything when you are organized. And so I always keep it on me. When I'm at work, I actually clean houses in scrubs because it is the most comfortable outfit that you could do. Number one, it has plenty of pockets. And number two, it actually is a very good cover if you're getting down, if you're bending down and doing, and if the client is home and you don't want to show anything and you don't want to have to be worried about that. You're concentrating on going as fast and as efficient as you can. So scrubs are a wonderful thing to wear, and it has plenty of pockets. So I have a specific pocket I have my list in. So I actually have my list on me, and so like right here I have my list of different garden stuff. So at the very top I have my grapes, and then I have my cilantro, and then I have, you know, the next thing, and so on. And then over here I have my list of different things I need to do with my clients, which actually, I had to go get my pen, and I am about ready to release some endorphins because I'm looking at it and I've already done that and that and that, and it feels so good to get stuff crossed off of my list. So take your list and prioritize it. What thing needs to be done first? If there's a deadline for something, obviously that's going to be moved up to the top of your list before anything else. Okay, number 3 is going to be look at your calendar. If you don't keep a calendar, I would definitely do it. Anybody that you talk to that is organized has a calendar. If you don't write it down, it is so easy to forget about it because everybody has so many things going on in their lives. They have family, they have work, they have friends, they have kids, they have all these different obligations. And, you know, it's great to try and work your memory so that you can memorize things, but if you don't have a great memory, or if you have, you know, a ton of things going on, it's so easy just to write it down and have that good friendly reminder. So write it on a calendar. So when you are looking at your calendar, you want to look at the different days that you have different things scheduled. For instance, a calendar day for someone who is a mom is going to be different for someone who isn't a mom but travels a lot. So if you travel a lot and you're gone, say, Monday, Friday, and Saturday, you're not going to want to schedule the stuff on your list to get done for those days because they're full. If you're a mom and you have soccer practice on, which is totally cliche, sorry, but if you have any sports practices or anything like that, or plays, or whatever activity your kid is doing, on those days you don't want to schedule something that's going to take a long period of time. Number 4 is scheduling realistically. If you do have that day where you are taking young Sally to the movies with her friends because you promised that you would do that, you're not going to want to schedule 3 things off of your list. You may want to get those things done as soon as possible, but you have to be realistic. Are you really going to have time? And, you know, depending on what happens on that day, are you really going to want to do it? Have enough energy to do it? That's definitely something to look at. And number 5 is to do it right away. A lot of times when you schedule something, you start to schedule them and you do look at the stuff you have done, and even if you have a period of time, you think, well, I can wait on this and I can wait on that. If it's something especially small, do it right away. If you see that there is trash on the table and you're walking by, your subconscious stress, you know, is starting to go off, and don't keep walking. You know, it doesn't take that long at all to do that. Do what you can right away. But I will say, if you have a long list of things to do and you have, say, 3 things that are not your favorite things, but all your other ones are like awesome things, those could be not awesome things, but things that are so easy and that you can get done right away. You can get closer to getting those endorphins released. You're going to want to do just a couple of them, and then you're going to want to do that task that you've been pushing off before you do the other ones. The next small tasks that come after that big task can be your reward, because that big task, you don't want to push the frog away. What do I mean by that? I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, but it's a term called eating the frog. And what that means is basically, if you have a task and it's that task that you don't want to do, if you finally just do it, it's called eating the frog. So my mom actually has a little frog, and she'll put it on whatever project that she just does not want to do. And something that will actually help you do that is if you time yourself, see how long it takes you to do it. And you'd be surprised to know that it does not take that long. I have a client that absolutely hates unloading the dishwasher. She hates it so much. She loathes it. She dreads it like all day. Well, one time she was timing herself, and it only took her 10 minutes to get everything unloaded and put away. And so she thought, wow, it's only 10 minutes. That's not that bad. And so she kind of looked at it a little differently, that she could just go ahead and just do it. So you want to do a couple of little tasks, a big task, and then a couple of little tasks after that. So I hope all of this has helped you guys. If you have any comments or any questions, or if you want to share any success stories, I love to hear if this has helped you guys at all, or maybe if you guys already do something like this, or if you have any more pointers. We're all here to share and to help each other relieve, you know, the stress that's in our life. If you want to see more videos like this, I'm going to make this a regular segment. If you want to see my previous video, it's on how to get started in your house when you just want their whole house organized and you don't know where to start. If you want to see my next video, which is going to be a segment I'm doing called Tiny Task Thursday, and these tasks are only going to take about 10 minutes, so that way that's just short enough for you moms, for your spouse to be able to watch your kids, so you can get this one thing done, and it'll be something you can check off your list, or something that'll help you. So thank you very much for checking in, and hopefully this helps you guys. Let me know, share, and please subscribe. Thanks guys, and happy organizing. And you just want to throw everything away and you have no idea where to start. So I figured I'd give a couple of tips that might help you guys out.